So here, in this particular slide, we are going to see how the cyclomorphic phenomena it exists in case of Cladocerans. So when there is an increase in water temperature, light, and food in spring, the most common seasonal pattern of variation among successive generation of temperate lake is gradual extension of anterior part of head to form a crest or helmet. So यहाँ पे आप बता रहे हैं कि जैसे क्लैडोसरेंस हमने जैसे देखा रोटिफर्स के केस में क्या साइक्लिक फिनोमिना था इन जनरल. So step 1, in case of early spring, it was spherical rounded structure. As the spring bloom happens, phytoplankton number increases and the population of rotifers starts going up. So it will increase in its size quite a lot. And while increasing the size, it also reduces the spines. Then what happens in case of the existence of predators? अब predators कौन है? रोटिफर ही रोटिफर का predator बन रहा है उस केस में या फिर कॉपीपॉड रोटिफर्स का predator है. Likewise, so when their predators, अब एक पॉपुलेशन जो है प्रे की बढ़ रही है, प्रीडेटर की भी बढ़ रही है, तो पहले स्पाइंस जो है वो रिड्यूस्ड है, बॉडी बड़ी बड़ी हो गई है, साइजेस बड़े हो गए हैं, बॉडी साइज इन जनरल. फिर क्या होता है जब प्रीडेटर का नंबर भी बढ़ जाता है, इट shows an impact or it helps in the induction of the lateral spines as a protective mechanism. So that's how the whole process of cyclic changes in the body shape and size in case of rotifers happen. Now, similar trend is going to happen for the cladocerons. Here, the differences lies in the fact that the temperature is going to show an impact. Then we have the predators are of different in nature. They can be some fishes or they can be some insect larvae feed on the cladocerons. So, or and the one last thing is that these organisms, the cladocerans, they show the cyclomorphic phenomena in a different way. Change in the body size and shape happens, and in addition to that, they produce a caudal spine, and then in the head region, they many a times produce a helmet-like structure, which we are going to see in the image in the next slide. So यहाँ पे पहली चीज क्या बताने जा रहे हैं जो साइक्लोमॉर्फोसिस क्लैडोसिडेंस के केस में होता है उसमें आपका सक्सेसिव जनरेशंस जो हैं टेम्परेट लेक में वो क्या करती हैं जब इनिशियल स्टेजेस में जब लाइट फूड टेम्परेचर सब फेवरेबल है तो एंटीरियर पार्ट जो है हेड का वो क्रेस्ट या हेलमेट बना लेता है बहुत इलोंगेटेड क्रेस्ट एंड हेलमेट एंड देन carapace length जो है changes little or decreases only slightly between spring and summer. स्प्रिंग से समर की तरफ जब जा रहे हैं तो कैरापेस का लेंथ या उसकी जो चेंजेस उसमें ज्यादा कुछ नहीं आती रिमेन्स दी ऑलमोस्ट द सेम एंड देन when it starts going towards the autumn it again changes or increases in the size. So the extent of head development and change in the head shape are extremely variable among species and within the same species under different environmental conditions. तो यहाँ पे जो आपका जैसे कि इन्होंने मेंशन किया दैट जो हेड है वो initially it changes to form a crest or a helmet. So this extent of this development of crest or helmet it depends upon the species. कुछ species में ही ये phenomena बहुत prominently नजर आता है और उसमें कुछ species जो है आपकी genus Daphnia को belong करती हैं. Maximum examples of this cyclomorphic phenomena it will come from the genus Daphnia. And then the increase in the tail spine also observed in some species during the summer. So tail spine जो है वो भी summers के time में ही ज़्यादा मिलता है. Cyclomorphosis in case of in genera Bosmina, Pseudodaphnia, Chidorus, it's much less distinct than in Daphnia and consists of slight reductions in length of body and of antennae in the summer. तो यहाँ पे डेफनिया के केस में आप सब कुछ देख सकते हैं. So there will be a helmet, there will be a change in the carapace length, then there will be increase or decrease in the tail spine. ये सारी चीजें जो है डेफनिया में बहुत प्रोमिनेंट है पर ये जो और दूसरे ग्रुप्स हैं जैसे बॉस्मेना, सीरियोडेफिनिया, काइडोरस, उनके अंदर दीज फिनोमिनाज आर लेस डिस्टिंक्ट, बहुत कम उसमें चेंजेस जो हैं, ऑब्जर्वेबल चेंजेस बहुत कम दिखाई देती हैं। इन बॉस्मेना के केस में the changes often occur by means of the formation of a transparent dorsal hump with no increase in length and reduction in the antennule. So antennule में कोई चेंज नहीं होगा, लेकिन जो आपका बॉडी है उसमें एक डॉर्सल हम्प नजर आता है, and the length and number of segments in mucro, the length and number of sutures may also occur. So caudal spine जो है, that also shows cyclomorphosis in case of bosmina. These are some of the changes that happen in Cladocerans. And now let's move on to next slide. So in this slide, we are going to see examples from different Daphnia species. So one is Daphnia barbata, Daphnia cuculata, and Daphnia culex. In all these three cases of different species of Daphnia, we it has been observed. So this has come from a research paper from I think 2019, where it has been observed that the major factor responsible for the production of these different exuberances are the predators. And here, the effect of different types of predators has been studied on Daphnia barbata. And what happens, so if they are, so this is C, T, and N. So C is the control image. Then we have T, which where the organism has been exposed to Triops canceriformis. And then, so this is Triops. And then this N is notonecta, so the insect predator notonecta. तो यहाँ पे आप देखोगे अगर, तो जहाँ पर आपका टी से एक्सपोजर है, ट्रायोप्स का एक्सपोजर है, उस केस में जो आपकी लेंथ हेड जो है, इट हैज started developing into a small crest like structure, but it is not that prominent. And tail is also extended up to some extent. But if we compare it with this particular form or morph, which is exposed to notonecta, which is comparatively a larger predator than the triops, here the helmet development as well as the caudal spine or mucro development is very extensive. So this is the comparison. If you see, it's a comparison. Here, tail spine we can see. So this spine and this spine, it's almost comparatively similar. And why this is so different? Because the notonacta, it is a larger insect, and the gape size is large. So it will try to feed. It can very easily feed on the organisms with the average body size. So, to extend the body size, the organism has slowly evolved the head extension as well as the tail extension, and ultimately, this will not fit into the gape size of the insect. So, that's how the um, morphological forms they have been developed, and under the influence of the your biotic factor. And in case of this particular species, so here, Daphnia, it's a cuculata. So this form with, and here the exposure was done. A predator that was used was Scaborus. Scaborus is again another insect larvae, which, और इसका क्या इफेक्ट है ऑर्गेनिज्म पे, दैट इट हैज रिजल्टेड इनटू द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ अ वेरी large helmet and tail spine as well. In general, the typical form of Daphnia cuculata, it doesn't have a helmet or any sort of extension, and tail spine is also very small, but it develops into this form once it is exposed to Faborus organism, either organisms or the pheromones produced by the organism. And this is again the third case where the Daphnia pulex. So it's another species of Daphnia which result into the production of neck teeth. So here, this is the enlarged version of this neck teeth, And this neck teeth, it's small protuberances on the neck region, and it is produced as a defense mechanism against predators. So this is again a polymorphic form. So this is the common exam. These are some of the common examples of different polymorphic forms that the Cladocerans show um, with respect to certain predators, as well as with respect to different environmental factors, like among them, temperature is the most common one. Now, in case of copepods, so this slide, it's deals with the cyclomorphosis in case of copepods. Now, among all Cladocerans zooplankton के साथ हम अगर कंपेयर करेंगे कॉपीपॉड्स दे शो वेरी वेरी माइनर पॉलीमॉर्फिज्म बहुत ही reduced form of polymorphism जो है it is exhibited by the copypods, and that too with respect to only the change in the body size. Increased temperature resulted into a decline in the size of the body. So that is the general overview with respect to the cyclomorphic phenomena exhibited by the copypod, and that's all about it. Now we are going to see some other details related to cyclomorphosis in our next slide. So let's move on to that. So what are the functional and adaptive significance of this particular phenomena? So we have already discussed at length that these phenomena, many cases, it has developed as a result of the exposure to the predator. That predator could be of different nature, could be an insect, could be of same group, could be a fish, etc. So here, these structures like helmet or spines, it act as a protective mechanism, and it reduces the vulnerability of the organism towards the predator. So predators, ये सारे क्या हैं? These are gape limited, meaning they their mouth size, the opening of their mouth, um, is what determines the what kind of prey they are going to capture. And because of that, the gape limited nature of their predation, if the prey it develops certain exuberances, making the body very extended, they will become protected against those organisms. So this makes the zooplankton more difficult to capture and to ingest. So it acts as an anti-predator defense mechanism. The other adaptive significance is related to its buoyancy and swimming efficiency. So changes in the body shape influence the buoyancy and swimming behavior, allowing for a better vertical migration and energy efficiency. So they during the time when the body is extended, so in summers the water density has been reduced, um, which result into the change in the buoyancy. So organism need to spend a lot of energy to keep at a particular level, a particular column. So what they do, they change once they have the larger body size, it makes them buoyant and they can stay within their water column without spending a lot of energy. So that is one adaptive significance and functional value of cyclomorphic process. And the third one is thermal and hydrodynamic adaptation. Smaller body size in warmer months help maintain metabolic efficiency. Shape changes may help navigate viscosity changes in water as temperature varies. So all these are three important significance and of the cyclomorphic phenomena. You are very free to add to it. I would suggest and recommend you to read books on limnology and add to it. Okay. So now we are going to move on to our next slide, which has the factors that triggers the process of cyclomorphosis. So here, so environmental triggers. like temperature, predation pressure, food availability, photoperiod, and water viscosity. So all these factors, they impact the phenomena of cyclomorphosis in case of zooplankton. Temperature, some warmer temperature in summer often induce more pronounced morphological features like large helmet, longer spine. So body का size reduce हो जाएगा मैनी केस बहुत सारे केसेस में जैसे डेफनिया में और हेलमेट और लॉन्गर स्पाइन्स बन जाएंगे जो कि उसको हेल्प करेंगे टू कीप देम बाइंड देन प्रिडेशन प्रेशर विजुअल प्रिडेटर्स जो हैं वो भी क्या करते हैं वो एक्चुअली दे डू नॉट एक्चुअली हेल्प इन इंडक्शन बट व्हाट दे डू दे एक्सर्ट अ सिलेक्टिव प्रेशर यानी कि जो पॉपुलेशन में ऑलरेडी ऑर्गेनिज्म एग्जिस्ट करते होंगे उस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे जिनके लार्जर प्रोट्यूबरेंसेस हैं वो क्या करेंगे वो एस्केप कर देंगे प्रेडेशन तो सिलेक्टिव प्रेशर है सिलेक्टिव प्रेडेशन प्रेशर and because of that that specific population they will again you know go uh, go for next progeny and that's how slowly and steadily the larger spines they develop morphological defenses like helmet or spine deter predation or make zooplanktons harder to ingest that we already discussed in our previous slides. Food availability. So, scarcity or abundance of food also influence the body size and reproductive strategies. As we have seen in case of the Splanchna, the spring population where the food was the population just started and the food supply has just reached its maximum. So the size was smaller, but slowly and steadily, as the population starts growing, and the availability from the spring bloom is there, so it result into the larger body size. So food availability is a very important factor that helps in the development of these outgrowths of these extensions of the body. Photoperiod and water viscosity, again, photoperiod and water viscosity, they are directly indirectly related to the temperature changes, and light duration and seasonal changes in water density also contribute to cyclomorphic variations. And this, the topic on the cyclomorphosis in case of zooplankton is complete. So please feel free to ask me any questions and just go through some books so that we can also, discuss if you have any doubts. All right, thank you.